Are you sick of seeing and wearing the same sneaker brands over and over again? Whoa, a new Jordan release. Wow, another Adidas shoe. I get it, you want to branch out, you want to try some different stuff, maybe something cool you've seen one or two people wearing recently, but sneakers are expensive and you don't want to waste your money. So I've tried out a bunch of less conventional sneaker brands for you. Are there any you should consider? Any sleeper hits lurking here? This is Aquafina here. Let's take a look. I'm starting off with one I know a bunch of people have been interested in recently. It's Norda. Now, Norda is a relatively new brand that's picked up some attention with technical sportswear sneakers that combine semi-futuristic looks with high-end materials. They only have 3 models, one of which is a Haven collab, but I picked up the original release, the 001 here, in a nice crisp white colorway. The thing that makes people hesitant to give these a go is the price. Although some colors and sizes are available on sale, these retail at something like £225, which is over $250, and for a sneakerhead, that's a lot of money because you could easily get a semi-hyped release on resale for that kind of cash. You will, however, immediately notice a difference in these when you get them out of the box. These are extremely light. You can tell on foot the upper weighs almost nothing. That is down to their use of Dyneema here, which bag fans will know as being an ultra-light yet strong material. Unfortunately, it's also more expensive than most nylon-based fabrics, which I expect is at least partly where the price comes from, but you can immediately tell the difference and it is noticeable on foot. They give you a real feeling of agility, which makes sense as this is designed as a running shoe, and I found my true to size of UK 11 giving a slightly snug but comfortable fit. I wouldn't mind a touch more width, but I found them a tiny bit wider than many Nike shoes, for example. Although they don't look super attention-grabbing up close, I still think they look decent. Dyneema is a good-looking material, and combined with these nice tonal sections, which are also a contrast material for extra strength, and the branding and graphic elements, which I don't find to be too obnoxious, these overall fit in a nice space between looking obviously technical, but not so sporty that you couldn't wear them in a normal lifestyle scenario. Some colorways are definitely a little bit more flashy. I really like the black and white combo pair, but these ones are a bit more understated. They'd suit those low-key performance looks. A little bit of quiet outdoor, am I right? I'm probably going to keep these on ice until summer. I do plan on wearing them running, but at the moment it is so muddy out there that these are just going to be ruined immediately. You've seen what happened to my Hoka Clifton 9s. I would rather keep these white at least for a little bit. The look of these probably won't appeal to all sneaker fans. It's a very obviously running, technical shoe aesthetic, but if you feel like these might mesh nicely with your wardrobe, I'd say they're worth giving a go. You do get a cool dust bag in the box as well. We love a little extra. Merrell is a brand I've mentioned time and time again on the channel as worth a look if you're into outdoor or technical fashion. As far as a few years back, I've talked about the Hydro Mock as an interesting and subversive take on the Croc. And more recently, their One TRL or One Trail line has been pumping out collaborations, lifestyle-focused shoes, and fashion-forward sneakers. So I have been wearing these every single day this year. My girlfriend got these for me for Christmas, and I have been using them as my house shoes. I think these are a real banger. The wool texture on the upper looks good and provides a nice contrast with the Vibram outsole, and brings things more into that technical performance territory. They're comfortable, they're super easy to wear. That little lip at the back keeps them on better than many mule-type shoes. That wasn't the only pair of Merrell shoes I picked up though. The Speed Streak Evo in collaboration with Nicole McLaughlin. Yes, it's another video where I'm mentioning her name. Now, part of me was disappointed that compared to her usual work, like the Vans collab, the Hoka collab, they didn't quite have the same level of DIY fun playfulness that she's become very much associated with. However, that probably makes them more wearable for most, and indeed, the outdoor fashion themed color palette is going to make these perfect for some earth-toned fits, and I really like these rounded panels on the upper as well. It's very retro hiker to me. To me, this colorway was the standout, but I can definitely appreciate the cohesiveness of the trio. I find these to be pretty comfy in my true size, so I would definitely consider this shoe, and Merrell generally, if you're interested in this outdoor fashion kind of style, but something that's a little bit more off the beaten track than Salomon, Asics, New Balance. All of those brands are very popular in this style at the moment. Merrell are still leaning function over fashion in many of their models. It's really that One TRL line that's doing most of the fashion heavy lifting. So that's the first place to start if you want a shoe like this, or if you want to check out some of the wackier Hydro Mock variations, be my guest. Before I show you the weirdest shoe I've worn recently, there's something else I've been trying out so I can tell you whether it's good or not. The paid sponsor of this video, The Ridge. Since talking to the guys over at Everyday Carry, I've been thinking not just about techwear pockets, but the things that go in the techwear pockets. And the Ridge is a very appropriate option if you like futuristic style and solid functionality. It's brutalist, it's sleek, it's industrial, and it holds up to 12 cards with a super simple mechanism to access them easily with a money clip on the back. I like that it has a bit of weight to it and how nicely it matches my my watch and jewelry. But you can pick whatever one suits you best because they have a bunch of different options, like this flamingo pink one. This powder coat finish is super vibrant and it has a slightly textured feel that I like a lot. And since using this one, I've got to say it's pretty useful having a contrast colored wallet, so it's easy to find in a bag or if you drop it, plus it's basically Kirby color and that's just great. Even better though is this key case, which I also got in a contrast color because I've dropped my keys running before and it's super annoying trying to find them again. Get a couple of keys on here for super quick and easy access. Again, it's got a nice weight to it and I've been using it to split away my essential house keys when I go running so they don't clatter around in my pocket weighing me down. And I got the Ridge to hook me up with this cool bottle opener keyring as well. The orange color I picked seems super wild, but actually this fits really nicely with military color palettes and all black technical futuristic stuff, which is basically what I'm wearing most of the time. So I find this integrates surprisingly well. I've been using this every day and honestly, it's great to use. I really like it. And the Ridge are pretty confident you'll like this stuff as well by offering an extended 365-day no-risk trial and a lifetime warranty on both the wallet and the key case. You can get up to 30% off as part of their 11-year anniversary sale by hitting up my exclusive link in the description. Check out everything that's available. Let me know your favorite finish. Is it the classy titanium, the sassy flamingo pink, or something else? And thanks so much to the Ridge for being paid sponsors of the video. If neither Norda nor Merrell were weird enough for you, then you're gonna like the next one. And unless you've been locked into my Instagram, you probably won't have heard of this brand before. Fused are a 3D printed sneaker brand. A few designers have experimented with this production method and it enables crazy futuristic construction not possible through conventional means. And Fused definitely do that with the Arian Mid Translucent. You can see there's a lot that makes these pretty unusual. Most obviously the translucent material that's almost glassy and shows your socks through. Do not wear these without socks. That's just gross. So it's like free customization depending on what color socks you wear with them. The rippled upper gives them an almost liquid appearance. It's a similar vibe to things like Scry and Aliform, both of whom we've talked about before, and Aliform have been popping off recently, so expect to see them more in the future. Where do these differ though? Actually, in price. These use FDM 3D printing as opposed to resin that's used by some of the other brands. That can make these a fair bit cheaper. It brings them closer in line to the price of normal sneakers, despite a brand like this not being able to benefit by the enormous economies of scale of a brand like Nike or Adidas. Now there is a trade-off. These feel noticeably more plasticky than the Aliform Armis that I took a look at last year, and the construction is simpler than the multi-density lattice structure they use. As a result, these feel a little bit dead on foot relative to the very bouncy Armis. But that's not to say they're uncomfortable, and I find them plenty wearable, especially with the included insole. I'm not a big fan of the word mark on the outstep, but it's actually not that noticeable because, let's face it, you've got some other stuff to be looking at with this shoe. I think my favorite part is the folding shape over the tongue here. It looks really cool and it makes these very easy to get on whilst providing a little bit of lock-in for your foot. Now this is very much small scale startup feeling stuff right now. I feel like the brand identity isn't quite there for me. The boxes are very plain, the website is slightly wonky looking, the logo and presentation to me don't quite match how unusual and unconventional these shoes are, but the core product is pretty cool, particularly this silhouette, and there's a low version as well. And yes, it does come in a non-translucent version if you don't fancy something quite as weird. So who knows, maybe we'll see this one grow over time and you've got it on your radar early. Okay, look, I know you've heard of New Balance, but weird is the theme of this video, and their latest collab with Snow Peak, the Niobium Concept 3, is definitely that. Big boots are in, and this makes me think of a technical version of a moon boot or something. Very much designed for snow with the super height and the water resistant upper. I actually think in the right fit, these could go pretty hard. They're kind of wacky looking, but still have an obvious this is performance focused aesthetic to them, and they're kind of the exact opposite of something like a Salomon XA Alpine 2. They are very much a lifestyle snow boot and not for serious hiking. You're probably wondering why this has a crazy £270 price tag, which is way over $300. That is because this is literally two shoes in one. Yes, the part that you're looking at is the overshoe, so when you come home from your day of traipsing around in the snow, you can take these out and you'll still be wearing a nice comfy house boot that's insulated underneath. Just be warned, these things are toasty, so best suited for colder climates or if your housemate hates putting the heating on. Often with shoes like this that are multi-layered, they're stupidly difficult to put on. I didn't think that was the case with these actually. I thought they were pretty easy to use, although unfortunately they are a little bit small on me. I find with most New Balance shoes, I have to go half a size up to UK 11.5, and these only went up to 11. So I tried my luck, they were too small. So my snow fit that I was planning with the Tillac Raptor jacket is gonna have to wait, unfortunately. Probably a bit of a niche shoe, not gonna lie, but I can always appreciate things with weird functionality that do stuff that other shoes are not even gonna attempt. It's a good addition to a lineup which has put technical functionality first, whilst also looking cool and being lifestyle appropriate. And you'll see that I've got plenty of use from the RC4, which is, I think, the first release in this New Balance and Snow Peak collaborative series. And it should be noted that the performance is really there at a material level. This is an E-Vent upper, which is a multi-layered fabric technology, similar kind of vibe to Gore-Tex. You've got Polartec high loft insulation inside the boot here. You've got the Vibram outsole. They really are going all out in making this performance focused. Going off script here, but this multi-shoe functionality just reminded me of the Rayburn and Timberland collab, Future 73. It came in this enormous tote bag backpack thing, but there's a pair of Timberland boots designed by Rayburn which are designed with recycling in mind, so you can pull the entire boot apart, which means taking the inside away from the outside so that the materials can be split and more easily recycled at the end of their life. I thought that was pretty cool, and it makes for a interesting looking boot as well, which is so different to a standard Timberland. It's really showing the brand's been given some creative freedom there, and they've really applied their philosophy to that shoe in a very authentic way, and it's something they've done over quite a few collaborations. So yeah, take a look at these. Super wearable, super technical. These are going to be great for all kinds of conditions. And yeah, they've got this kind of futuristic look versus a regular Timberland shoe, but nothing too crazy. Yeah, I think this is a pretty interesting collaboration. I also bought the New Balance and Jound 2002R recently, the GTX ones. I like them a lot. I think they're pretty cool, but they're not very weird, so I won't be talking about them in this video. Let me know though if you want me to cover them somewhere else. Okay, you will have seen Oakley sunglasses, and more recently their archive accessories have been coming back into the spotlight, but they also did shoes historically, and they've been doing them again under Oakley Factory team, an effective collaboration between Oakley and LA-based streetwear brand Braindead. Some of these look really cool. They've got great colorway options as well. I decided to pick up the Chop Saw Mule. I fancied a mule of some kind, but obviously it had to be a little bit more futuristic and technical than your standard option. And I do indeed think they look great. They reference the archival looks, but bring it more up to date. This kind of bumpy thing going on over the upper is just super weird. It's almost kind of organic, which I quite like. And the outsole is just awesome. It looks like you've stepped in some alien goo or something. The downside though, these came up really big for me. These are a UK 11 and they are definitely at least half a size too big. I feel like they just flap around when I walk, and that is made worse by the fact that the outsole, whilst looking awesome, is also really heavy. That is a shame because it makes me not want to wear them that much, but they are really cool looking. I think I picked them up on sale, so they weren't mega expensive, and it's worth seeing if you could pick up a different model in the collection. I would definitely be after the slip-on version of these, so I'll let you know if I end up picking them up. Another one I tried was the Formula Matter from No Two Ways. So this brand was originally created in part by a YouTube content creator called Calux, and that maybe sounds bad, but they've actually been around quite a while and expanded quite significantly. Making a sneaker brand is way harder than just bringing out a line of merch or doing some clothing or something, so I've got to respect that. And the brand sent these out to me, and I actually think from a physical perspective, they're pretty good, but they're just lacking a bit of sauce for me. In an objective sense, these are a nice shoe. The suede upper feels nice, the silhouette is perfectly good, they have some premium feeling accessories like these lace tips and the little Dubre here. Even the box is very much a tier up from what you'd expect from most shoes. They've got this cool, high quality printing on here, they've got these little cutout bits here, the label looks really good. And that was all to the point I assumed that these retailed for more than they actually do. Now, unfortunately, they sent me a UK 10s. They're a bit small for me to actually wear, but putting that aside, I just feel like they're lacking a bit of identity. There are elements here which are very similar to an Air Force One, I feel. The sidewalls here look very Reebok, kind of Club C vibes to me. Personally, to be convinced over to another sneaker brand, I really have to feel like there's something that's being done different. And although there are some of these nice features that I mentioned, I just don't feel like it differentiates it enough for me to want to pick something like this over a black Air Force One, for example. Maybe one to keep an eye out on in the future, because I certainly think they've got the manufacturing side of things down. It's just, yeah, for me, the design, not quite that.
Look, it's like an iron. This one looks so much better. So yeah, that's the most recent one. It's still not final.
I know the point of this video was to be looking at unexplored brands. Here I am with an Adidas box. However, I thought this was a cool release, and there is a reason why it's relevant. This in here is the Hard Copy and Adidas German Army Trainer. Literally just picked these up. The GAT is an absolute classic. You likely would have seen these before, or the more high fashion Margiela ones directly based on these. This is, however, an example of a a lesser known collab which might pass many people by. It doesn't have the brand recognition of Off-White or some other big streetwear brand, but it's worth paying attention to releases like this and finding something other people are less likely to be wearing. More importantly, it's a chance to rep something you might have a more personal interest in. Hard Copy is an Instagram page specializing in sneaker design and highlighting interesting releases with more background and context than your average mood board or release tracker, using a distinctive aesthetic reminiscent of 90s poster ads. I've been a fan for some time, so very hyped to see a project like this come to life, and the Instagram page be able to produce something physical. Just like the page, very tasteful and understated, but with a few subtle details in the form of the internal branding and the asymmetrical red line. They're also extremely comfortable using this soft, supple leather that almost feels like it's broken in out of the box. It's the kind of release almost anyone could wear, but with that if you know community sort of appeal to it. They're a little bit narrow in my true to size, so I definitely could have gone half a size up, but nonetheless, I find them fairly comfy anyway. More importantly, I would definitely recommend seeking out the less hyped or the more unconventional collaborative releases. I feel like the age of mega hyped sneakers is kind of coming to an end now, and what's becoming cooler or more important is being able to find these kinds of shoes that represent something that you personally are interested in, or you can show off something that maybe other people haven't heard of. And I'd recommend Hard Copy on Instagram as well for content that covers more than just the big hyped sneaker releases. And one more super quick mention, because if you're a fan of the channel, this will not be an unfamiliar brand to you. I have quite a few pairs of Mizuno sneakers now. They just sent me the Wave Mujin GTX. I purchased an older version of these maybe last year or the year before. This is an updated colorway. I think these look really nice, delicate, tonal, and the silhouette has this chunky retro look combined with the performance of GTX and the big fat lugs on this Michelin outsole. I find them nice and comfortable for daily wear on pretty much any terrain. If you're a fan of the more sportswear focused brands like Asics, you will definitely enjoy some of these Mizuno silhouettes. The Wave Mujin for me and the Wave Prophecy are two of my favorites for sure, but there's one or two other interesting models too. This colorway in particular I really like. It suits those warm colors really well, so slap on a pair of olive cargos. These are a real banger. Only downside, I suppose, they're very much a winter shoe being GTX and having this thick outsole, but the delicate colorway means that these are going to pick up marks. You're just going to have to embrace that, unfortunately. Generally, I feel pretty positive about everything we featured here. I guess the lesson is not to be scared. Go out of that comfort zone, try some different brands. You might just find something that you vibe with, especially if you can grab some sales deals. Would love to hear what brands or sneakers you think I missed here. Would be great to do a follow-up to this episode. And if you've got any recommendations of sneakers other people might not know or other people might not have tried, that would be great to have in the comments as well. So I will be looking forward to those. Thanks so much to The Ridge for being paid sponsor of the video. Check them out if you're looking to upgrade that EDC. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and until next time, I'll see you then.